Hey everyone, I am Hannah Parker, a startup success manager here at Google Cloud. And today I'm joined by Josh Pitts, the co-founder and CTO of Floodlight. Floodlight is a Google for Startups Cloud Program recipient. They are listed on the Google Cloud Marketplace. And recently, Floodlight earned the Google Cloud Sustainability Partner designation, sharing this specialization with only 40 other companies that are powered by Google Cloud. So Josh, congratulations to you and your team on these huge milestones and growth so far. And I'd love to start with learning just a little bit more about what Floodlight does and how you help your customers achieve their ESG goals.
Absolutely. Thanks, Hannah. So I'll give a little brief background about Floodlight and what our mission is really. So what we've seen in terms of industry trends in the last few years is a lot more regulation and pressure to start understanding what the impact is to your company's climate disclosures, to a company's greenhouse gas footprint. And so we see that happening in California. We see that happening with some of the potential SEC regulations that are coming out, as well as in Europe. And with all of this going on, a lot of companies just want to understand their impact and reduce it, whether that's the amount of emissions they're having or plan for the future climate change. And this is really a complex problem to try to solve. It often involves a lot of atmospheric modeling and predicting the future, and it's very difficult. But what we have now is a number of satellites that have come on over the last few years that are strongly focused on being able to measure greenhouse gas emissions, better able to quantify what's going on the ground. So I've worked in data science for almost 20 years now. And geospatial data, satellite data, is a particular beast of its own. And so we're really bringing these cutting edge data science and processes into these new data sources and sensor sources to help companies get a handle on all of this, understand their footprint, understand their emissions and their climate risk. And that's what we're really building today is a very quick and easy way for companies to really get a sense of their footprint.
Yes, this is such a great mission. And there are two really wonderful partnerships that Floodlight has nurtured, specifically with Chorus and KPMG. So I'd love if you could share a little bit more about these engagements and how Floodlight is supporting these companies' climate change goals.
Absolutely. So they're very different companies. We have Chorus on one side, which is a small startup, and KPMG, which is a large corporation. And they're solving interesting challenges. And so one of the things we look at is carbon flux. That's the change of carbon over parts of the world. And in one case with Chorus, what they're doing is they're working with farmers on the ground who are planting fields, and they want to get a sense of how much carbon their fields are sequestering. Chorus helps give those farmers compensation around the world, small farmers, for actually planting and maintaining trees. And it's a very interesting use case to be able to kind of support that mission and really see how the data can inform on the changes that are happening on the ground using these types of satellite data. And on the other side, is KPMG, who services clients and their customers globally, worldwide, who want to understand the emissions profile of different manufacturing facilities or even an office building. And so that also comes down to carbon flux. And what we're doing is looking at the emissions footprint, whether that's CO2 or methane, and be able to study that using atmospheric modeling and satellite data and really understanding the nuances of that to get a profile of those emissions. So we're working with all kinds of customers in that whole spectrum to really understand and study carbon and climate risks.
Those are really compelling use cases. Thank you for elaborating on those. And I'd love to shift gears a little bit and talk about why Floodlight chose Google Cloud as your technology partner, and if there are any specific products that help to accelerate your growth.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very grateful to be part of the program and to have had the opportunity to work with a lot of the tools and products that Google has developed over the years. So I've worked with some other cloud providers, and the one thing that really makes Google Cloud specifically good for us in our use cases is we have to take a whole bunch of different types of models. We have to have a whole bunch of different types of data that we work with, file types, and be able to kind of quickly and reliably prototype new ideas and new models and new approaches using GCP, using the various technologies, is a really huge win for us. And I think as we've considered building we have to maybe test something out and then immediately get that into production ready. So we have to be able to make that scale, and it's a natural fit. So we can not only prototype things and using a whole bunch of the tools from Google, as well as being able to actually turn that into something that can scale across the entire world or across our entire data set, which can be many terabytes or petabytes in some cases of worth of data. So being able to have that whole kind of solution wrapped up in one has really empowered us to be able to have confidence in the technology that we're building.
And are there any Google Cloud services that Floodlight does not currently leverage today, but are maybe exploring for future use?
Yeah, so I mean, just like a lot of other teams, AI is a big buzzword, but we're also very excited with what it can do for geospatial data. Geospatial data is a unique challenge because it's kind of like imagery files, but it's also kind of like big databases at the same time. So training and understanding these types of data products using more traditional machine learning or AI approaches is often really difficult to begin with, looking at geospatial data. So we're excited to learn more about Vertex and start actually trying out some of these test cases, looking at ways in which we can feed in some of our data and analytics and get some more meaningful insight directly out of that tool set is something we're actively exploring right now to see if we can add more value onto the data and analysis that we're doing for our end customers, just make that a little bit easier and a little bit more turnkey. We're pretty excited about that.
Great. Excited for you. Again, congratulations on being listed on the marketplace. That is a huge milestone. Really happy for you. Tell us a little bit about any advice that you might have for other founders. I'd imagine there's some other early stage startup founders who are listening to this. What were some of the challenges that Floodlight encountered in the early days? And what advice do you have for folks listening who may be in a similar position?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of technology, it's really important that as a startup goes from product market fit or pre-product market fit to product market fit, to really have the right tools in the toolbox in order to scale properly. So we hit a number of challenges ourselves, from our data pipeline to our data storage. Since we're running complex atmospheric models, running complex data models, we would rapidly find out that essentially that a particular approach wouldn't scale well, or was very difficult, or would take 2 weeks to run. So we have to try something else out and be able to kind of fail fast and try out a new solution was really important for us to internalize in our even in our production ready environment. Now we have to be able to kind of quickly identify these issues. Once we run out of some storage issues, once we ran out of storage in a particular product approach or a particular data pipeline, we would need to kind of rapidly address that and use another tool set. So that just being able to have the right tools in the toolbox, I think, is really important for that, and be able to kind of swap things in and out. We love working with GCP because we can essentially kind of more quickly swap things out and actually robustly build our pipeline in a way that we are confident that it's going to scale correctly.
Yes, wonderful. I'm sure that resonates with a lot of folks who are listening. And final question for you, Josh, where is Floodlight heading? What does the future look like? What opportunities are you excited about? Really just what's on the horizon for you in 2024?
Everything in the world of sustainability is completely changing. The analogy I like to use is, when electricity was first coming out, they would send people around to people's houses and count light bulbs and to tell them how much they were going to charge them for their electricity. And that's kind of how we are now in a lot of sustainability science. People are kind of making guesses, or they're saying, oh, I maybe use this amount of fuel to burn on, in this process, and just making guesses. But as we all know, the electric meter came out. We can start measuring and metering things now. And that's the state of the technology now, is that we're now able to kind of better measure and better understand. And I think that's just going to make everything, everyone's business mission and everyone's mission of having, a sustainable, resilient plan for their business being achievable. Being able to measure these things and being able to achieve them is now better, more possible than ever. So we're really excited about kind of just the state of the technology and the science really enabling a lot of these possible changes now that weren't even possible a few years ago.
Wow. Well, Google is very excited for this partnership with Floodlight, and we truly wish you nothing but continued success and growth throughout 2024 and beyond. So thank you so much for your time and sharing this great information, Josh. We'll talk next time.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. You can absolutely find us on the marketplace, and we're really proud to be on the Google Cloud Sustainability Partner Program. So definitely reach out to us, and you can find us there. We're always looking for new partners.
Thanks so much, Josh. All right, talk soon. Bye-bye.